Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this time.
On Critical Hit.
On Critical Hit?
No.
On Critical Hit?
Not yet.
No, because I've already said welcome to Critical Hit. What I am concerned about, Kevin, is what happened last
time
on Critical Hit.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it twice.
Oh, you're not going to do it twice?
Not this episode.
I'm not your dancing monkey.
We'll wait 15 more times this episode. So anyway, Kevin, please share what happens now that we have rolled the software, the firmware back on good old Vincent.
Hey!
I mean, Quentin.
So, you have defeated the Black Hat hacker devil that was occupying Quentin's central processing unit, and as a result, you fought them, and he eventually surrendered, and you have your current agreement because the devil was threatening to blow up Quentin's memories. And possibly just all of Quentin's mind, was that you would allow them to live, maybe stored in like a separate drive outside of Quentin for now. And I think your plan was to also interrogate them.
Yeah, it's the good old Moriarty Star Trek Next Generation gambit.
Yeah, no way this will come back and bite us in season 5.
All right. So, you all tentatively go to, you put away your blasters and frost glaives and weapons and such as the spark disappears from the hacker devil's hand, and you realize the way out is probably, Hecubino, you will realize that the way out is through you. You need to sever basically the mind link.
Okay.
There's a little bit of trick to being sure that the hacker devil doesn't, you can basically, it occurs to you, you can pull the hacker devil out with you. And Bob, from your interactions in terms of hacking with this thing, that it's an equally digital entity, meaning it exists both. It has probably a physical form, but this weird, computer science psychic melding thing you're doing, it can actually just do that. Intrinsically, so it can probably get itself out as well. From there you'll need to figure out storage on like some separate drive and stuff like that. But when you exit this, basically everyone in the scene, the hacker devil included, will become physically corporeal back on the Squeaky Clean.
Okay.
And your body will have taken it out on you by, throwing your body around on the floor. All the fake injuries you incurred in Quentin's mind will become real, of course. But I think people aren't that badly off. People have been spending stamina, resolve fairly aggressively to recover from their injuries, right?
Yep.
I believe so, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So then, Hecubino, whenever you're ready, you can. You'll need the crew. You'll need everybody to like link hands and stuff like that to exit the mind link.
Okay. I'll gather everyone around. I'll make it so that like Amu and Vangi are on either side of Black Hat, so that they're not so much linking hands, but like holding on to him. And I'll be like, okay, everyone, this might be a journey experience, so take a deep breath, and we'll go in 3, and I jump them out.
Boom. So yeah, it's suddenly like flying backwards in space, basically, where as if your body gets pulled back like on a roller coaster going backwards. And you have an intense sense of vertigo as you guys all come to in I believe it was the like cockpit,
Yeah, I
bridge
think so.
area of the Squeaky Clean. And beside you is also a somewhat less disoriented but somewhat more injured hacker devil Black Hat, who basically gets expelled from Quentin in that same nanite cloud of brimstone.
If it's at all possible, there will also be a very large laser rifle aimed at him.
Oh,
Because
sure.
I would say
I don't trust him.
we could put the grapple. I have a weapon what is designed for grappling.
Yeah, so for a moment, you guys have to come to terms with, being in your physical bodies. So it's not like you can immediately come to and pull a weapon. I mean, you can try, but you might drop the weapon, you might fire it at somebody else. Like, your perceptions are... You haven't been using your eyes for a while, or your muscles, or, it's weird. So it takes you a second. I would argue especially you, Quentin. You are still you're doing fine. You're okay, but part of your mind is still dedicating to like basically picking up the boxes that got knocked over inside your memory banks and putting them back where they go. So that's like a background thread that's taking some of your CPU.
Vangie tries flexing her muscles and wiping the sweat from her eyes.
Oh, good. You're all back.
Yeah, Grace, do not let anything other than myself interact with any of your internal systems, including this devil hacker. He's not. Put up all security against him.
Yeah, sure. That'll be relatively easy. First off, I want to let you know that everything's fine. And at that, the main door to the cabin area collapses down. Wires pop out of the ceiling, and you see the gremlins on the loose down the hallway, and the entire hallway is ripped up, covered in blaster scars and flamethrowers. It looks like some of the hallway was maybe transformed into some sort of liquid. The gremlins are on the loose. You see weird moss hanging from the ceiling. Herman comes out with his little crate fiend claws and holds out a skull to Amu, and then Squeebo rounds the corner and says, "Squeebo clean," and then vomits out the helmet of a hazmat suit.
Oh, Amu, what's going on?
How long were we in there, Grace?
How?
All right. Previously.
On critical hit.
Oh no.
So, you guys are all, for all intents and purposes, asleep, unconscious in the cabin, the piloting area of the bridge of the Squeaky Clean. When Grace detects something on the scanners, a light freighter has appeared from behind nearby electromagnetic distortion that she quickly realizes was probably artificial and some form of way of cloaking the ship to their sensors. It's a Grace just starts talking to herself. Oh, it's a Norikama Reliant class ship. It's made in the Vescarium style, so that means it's pretty brutish and pugnacious. It's covered in thick armor plates and bristling with weapons. Looks something like a huge cybernetic space shark covered in spikes, all in colors of army green and brown. Guys, I know you're in the middle of something, but if you can hear me, please wake up. Bob. Okay, Hekubino. Amu. Quentin? Oh, okay. I can move the ship, but I really need a pilot as a partner. I mean, I can do it myself, but it's just not the same, you know? And I can't fire the weapons on my own. And I'm talking to myself because you're all in Quentin's brain. Oh, this is bad. The ship starts to close the distance to you guys with its pilot able to outperform the simple autopilots that Grace has enabled. And it's labeled the Pequod Malibu. And we cut to the docking area of that ship as it moves to dock with the Squeaky Clean. A little tunnel comes out and it starts boring a hole in the side of the ship. And it's clear it has all of the weapons locked on you. So if Grace makes any sudden moves, it can just blow you out of the sky. Waiting in the boarding tunnel is a band of bounty hunters. They conveniently all kind of take turns looking around and nodding to each other, and for our purposes, we'll introduce them. Otto is their captain. He is a mangy-looking Yosoki who clearly doesn't bathe and may have a skin disease or at least an infestation of mites of some sort. He has slapdash plates of armor with lots of buckles and straps and gears. He's wielding a tool the size of a large wrench, which he can fiddle with and configure to operate as basically any mechanic's tool, plus a well-worn laser pistol. He turns and says, "All right, you lot. You know the plan. These are high-value targets, so we need to bring them in alive. The doctor will handle their ooze defender. Bud, you go toe-to-toe with Vangie. Keep her busy. Duke, keep them all off balance. Mess the ship up good. Miller, just do your thing." And Miller says, "I always do. Leela, take out the ones that seem to be hitting us hardest. Ready? Break." And as they start to cross over to invade the ship, here's the rest of them. Bud is a hulking behemoth of a human. He's about 6'8", 350 pounds, mostly muscle, but a bit of gut. He has long black hair that's wild and matches his beard. He wears black overalls, black rubber boots, and one of his arms has been replaced with a cybernetic chainsaw. He moves aggressively, jumping into the room after docking, glaring at everything with the crazy eyes. He says, "Time to get ripping," as his chainsaw roars into action. Duke is a bright fuchsia skittermander, roughly 3 feet tall and 35 pounds, that crawls all over the rest of the crew of the Pequod Malibu, not respecting personal space at all. They have the normal 6 arms and 2 legs of a skittermander, and while seemingly cuddly and cute, something is clearly wrong with this particular creature, as their already sharp teeth have been filed to even sharper points, and their eyes and mannerisms quickly reveal a casual cruelty. They seem to use their powers instinctively, which identifies them as a witch warper, as they can change the terrain around them to suit their unpredictable whims. They giggle maniacally as they enter the room. Hee hee hee. Miller is a short for a Vesk, so like 6 feet tall, thin, again, thin for a Vesk, so like 180 pounds, albino Vesk covered in tattoos that look somewhere between mystic runes and a circuitry diagram. There's also a time motif to them. He wears all white, a kind of light plastoid armor. He moves with deliberation, keeping his arms held behind him with a look of lofty disdain on his face. As he enters, he says, "I have a bad feeling about this." Layla is an 8-foot-tall Verthani, a humanoid chameleon person who is at least 40% cybernetics, including a leg, an arm, an eye, and part of her tail. The pigment of her skin changes color according to her mood or blends in with the area around her. She wears little to no armor or clothing except for some strategically placed force field generators, perhaps to better take advantage of her camouflage. Somehow her cybernetics seem wired to tap into this ability. As she starts to board, coming from her cybernetic arm is a stream of nanites that start interacting with a console on the Squeaky Clean immediately. And last but not least is Parnell. Parnell is dressed in a bright yellow hazmat suit with a flat top head and a black panel, like visor area that he can presumably see through, though it doesn't go, you can't see into it. As this covers his entire body, it is unclear what Parnell looks like under the suit or even what species he is. He has a scanning device in one hand that has little prongs sticking out from each side and emits strange sounds only he can interpret. He's also dragging along something that looks like a high-tech vacuum cleaner, with the tank being a titanium and white plastic square case that has... think of like the corners all being like that titanium and then a little plastic around it. But the actual sides are some sort of thick, transparent glass material. The whole square is about 1 meter tall, wide, and deep, and he drags it along. It's on little wheels. Parnell gives off a lot of nervous energy by not standing still and talking to himself. In this case, he's saying, they have a special quantum entanglement endobacterial ooze. I will handle it and get my revenge for the death of my research associates on Dagox 4. True, we may have been researching bioweapons, but that's no excuse for using one on us first. No one else seems to be paying any attention to him. They board the Squeaky Clean kind of in that main hangar area and are immediately greeted by Squeebo. Squeebo smiles at them, and, just for a refresher on Squeebo, think of, about a meter diameter dome of bright green jello. Put some googly eyes on it and a big, bubbly, weird smile. Then set that on top of about a meter diameter Roomba. And that's Squeebo. Squeebo goes in to clean up this mess, but they seem prepared for that. In fact, Miller sort of seems to coordinate everything. Everyone's in perfect position as the Vesk, almost like timing everything to a perfect T, knows that it will be there, and Parnell lunges forward with the vacuum cleaner, and it emits some weird tasing energy and sucks Squeebo whole into his tank. You've never seen Squeebo be really thrown by anything before, but in this case, it whatever device this mad doctor has created, it absorbs him entirely, and you can see him struggling inside the tank. And Parnell turns and taps on the glass and says, yes. How about a little cold, Squeebo? And starts tinkering with the dials on the tank, and the temperature clearly drops inside it, and Squeebo starts to shiver and starts to freeze.
No, not Squeebo.
Yeah. As evidently Squeebo is not immune to cold. Otto says, all right, Everyone, take your places. We gotta take them out before they know what's hit them. And Bud and Duke and Miller all race forward. Layla starts to blend in with the surroundings of the ship, so you quickly lose track of her. It seems like she is seeming to go for like control panels and to start interacting with the computer, which brings us back to Grace. All right. So there's definitely a big problem. And we'll cut to Amu's quarters. Herman, I need your help. There are bad people on board. Well, I don't technically know if they're evil bad, but they're trying to hurt the crew, and that's all we need to know. They're going to take Amu away from you. Oh, and there's food and shiny things you can take, I'm sure. Plus, I'll bet Amu will be really happy with you if you help. She opens the door to Amu's quarters, and coming out of his nest is the giant crate fiend crab creature. Well, kind of space crab arthropod that is Herman. It looks up with quite you guys haven't, except for Amu, spent much time looking at Herman's eyes, but they're attached on these long eye stalks. Like they're kind of separate from the rest of his body. They're on giant eye stalks, and they're each the size of like a large grapefruit. And they can like turn around corners and stuff on their own. All right, that's one. Cut to the med bay, where there's a moss hanging out, a giant moss creature hanging out amongst all of the vials and preparations that Amu uses to make his injections. All right, Gordo, I need you to help defend the crew. But Amu doesn't like it when I kill. Who said anything about killing? Although, yes, that was where I was going with this, so, fair enough. But you could just knock them out, or killing just a little bit would be okay. I'm sure that's what they're going to do to us. We cut to the crew of the Pequod Malibu. Otto says, remember, gang, no killing. Back to Grace and Gordo. So, yeah, if you can just come over it just a little bit, the Amu's counting on you, the whole crew's counting on you. Okay, Gracie. It's just Grace. Okay, just Gracie. Thanks, Gordo. I think I'm going to regret this, but with Squeebo incapacitated, I think we need all the help we can get. Gordo, can you open these? And in the storage facility that Amu has for them, pop out 3 little canisters, each just a little bit larger. They're like little. They could easily be added to a missile, for instance. And they hold 3 gremlins. 3 of the gremlins that had previously wrecked the ship. Gordo, open this up and I'll negotiate with them. Okay. And the giant moss sends out tendrils, opens all the canisters up, and out pop the 3 little Vexjit gremlins. These are the kind that set up traps and were building that giant contraption, if you remember that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was going to yell at Amu for all of this when you first started describing things, but apparently this was a good thing.
I mean, you can still yell at him. You don't know what happened.
That's fair.
Oh, hi, gremlins. Hey, we're free. Also, we have names. Oh, really? I didn't know that. What are your names? Dewey, Jinx It, and How.
It's like
so.
Sorry, I just like.
So, I'll strike a deal with you. We need your help to defend the crew. The same crew that imprisoned us? Why would we ever deal with you? Well, we could negotiate for some time out of the canisters. I mean, you're getting some time out of the canister now, isn't that good? And what do we have to do for it? Your usual traps and annoyingness to people, just not the Team Lizardbrain, not the crew. No, don't go to the pilot's cabin. Everywhere else, everywhere except the bridge, you can have free reign so long as you don't disturb any critical systems. And the people in there, you can you can do whatever you want to them. But not Herman, and not Squeebo, and not Gordo. That sounds good. We have no idea who those people are, so we'll just kill everything. No. And Grace painstakingly explains the terms to the gremlins, who don't really seem to care. They're already assembling the various tools from the medkit supply area, as Gordo has left and is starting to crawl along the ceiling and floor in his mossy form. So the crew of the Pequod Malibu is seemingly, Bud's like they're hulking. Bud's muscle, and he's on the hunt looking for Vangie. Goes to her quarters, sees some of the weight set up, sneers at it a little bit, goes to look inside and trips a tripwire, and out of nowhere comes one of Vangie's giant dumbbells and just smacks him right in the head. He staggers back and falls on the ground, dazed, but definitely still alive and everything like that. And grumbles. Duke, the Skittermander, starts using their Witch Warper abilities to, temporarily, in quotes here, transform parts of the ship. As they start walking around. The deal with the Witch Warper transformation is it doesn't last that long, but the damage it deals is permanent. So, for instance, transforming an area into a thin coating of acid, that acid still starts eating away at the walkways and the side panels and the controls, and underneath that, the wiring of the ship, even if then as soon as Duke has skittered on by, the acid no longer exists and fades out of reality. You see a moss turn the corner and kind of poof out a cloud of spores in Duke's direction, who turns, sniffs her cute little pink little nose, glares her menacing eyes, and we cut to Duke's vision for a moment as their world starts to spin and shrink and grow and starts flowing. Everything becomes more colorful. Some music starts playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun. And Duke starts becoming more and more obsessed with, as opposed to whatever mission they were on, they're still transforming the ship, but they're just doing it sitting down, and they're basically entertaining themselves with their Witch Warper cantrips. Parnell his job on the ship on the crew seems to have been exclusively taking care of Squeebo. And as he mutters to himself, yes, they'll see. They'll all see. He is basically just torturing Squeebo by changing the temperature and some of the other controls of his little cube. Squeebo stares at him with that weird faraway look that he gets, even though it's actually clear that like his form is suffering from this, because it like crystallizes, then melts a bit, then crystallizes again and melts a bit. But each time it doesn't seem to he doesn't come to his full natural state smoothly. So Parnell is just sitting in the main hangar bay when there's a sudden commotion over by one of the control panels, and it starts sparking, drawing his attention. He says, "Drat it, I'm sure Leela's messing this up somehow. I'll have to bail them out." And he wiggles his fingers in his yellow gloves. There seem to be 7 fingers on each hand. He goes over to start fiddling with the controls, and the panel electrocutes him severely. Fortunately, his hazmat suit protects him somewhat, but then popping out from behind the panel is like a spring-loaded blowtorch that just blasts him right in that face visor as he screams as though being blinded. Layla, the chameleon person Verthani, who seems to also have nanites as part of their body, is trying to hack into Grace, and Grace is furiously counter-hacking her by disabling parts of the ship so that Leela can't get full control. But she's also seemingly integrating herself in the ship's systems, which she's trying to find like basically the best system to have access to. And she comes across the HAC, the HAC, the Holographic Amusement Chamber. And she steps in, nods accordingly, and her nanites start melding with all the interactions of the all the various devices that make up the hack, which gives her, it's kind of like having your own a really cool PC rig, but it's integrating with your body and you're designing it as you go. Except the gremlins have also messed with that. And it starts becoming a trippy world of blasts of noise and lasers, and none of it can hurt her that badly, she thinks, except they definitely already know the ways to what was Gizmer, who had done it before, or actually, I'm sorry, it was Glitch who had done it before. They still know the hacks that Glitch came up with for disabling the hack safeties. And in this case, Grace is happy to help them. So Leela winds up getting trapped in a nightmare realm composed of all of the worst elements of your guys' programs that you have installed on the hack. So real quick, I'm going to ask you, each one of you, to go one by one and say what's something nightmarish they encounter or have to deal with that Leela sees in the hack. Anyone who has an idea can go first.
Surgery practice.
Surgery practice? Oh no, that's pretty bad.
Poisonous bats in a cave.
Nice.
There's blooper reels.
Drifter, you said Drifter's blooper reels?
Yep.
Failed
Nice.
compilation. Yeah.
Yep.
Season 3 of Stranger Things.
Ow.
That's cruel.
Becoming a food tuber.
Matthew, Brian?
Quentin's psychological program, which keeps asking them why they hate their mother, to better understand the psychology of alien minds.
Hostile alien ecosystems.
All right. So somehow all of those things get blended together. It's, the horrific, fate of Team We Love Spiders taking place on the infamous Viscarium planet jungle, along with while they're strapped down, having surgery practice and being fed parts of maybe themselves as sushi for a YouTube program, all while Quentin is psychoanalyzing that and saying, now what do you think this cellular peptide means?
Don't forget the mint frosting.
So Layla is going quickly insane. Miller, the Vesk, pauses for a long moment on his way, starts calculating things, and says, I knew this course of action was not advisable. Fine, I will fix it all. And he goes about and starts carefully dismantling traps just the moment before they're about to happen. As though he can see into a short distance into the future. This seems to basically outthink the gremlins, and he's in the process of basically rescuing everyone, like all the rest of their crew, as he starts walking through the halls. Otto has made a beeline for the bridge, and he's turned his giant wrench tool into a blowtorch / crowbar thing that he's using to Grace has locked the controls and done a hard lock such that even she can't reopen it, but he doesn't seem to care. He's busted out all the hardware stuff to just break the door down himself, and he seems perfectly capable of it as he's drilling / blasting his way through the door painstakingly, cutting along the sides, and you can from the Grace side view inside the bridge, you guys are all still unconscious, still in Quentin's mind. I don't know, maybe you're getting a badge or dealing with the bureaucratic administration zone or playing volleyball or something. And that you can see the blasting ring going around the door as Otto keeps making progress. He turns, and there's a storage crate nearby, and he's like, and goes back to work. Turns again, the storage crate is closer. Shrugs, keeps going to work. Turns, and Herman lunges out at him, grabbing him and getting involved in a claw versus wrench fight. At one point, Herman grabs, Otto goes for a side knife, and Herman disarms it from him, holding the knife in his crab arm and waving it about, which looks really cute. But Miller is getting ready to he comes to
really hope Grace has been filming all of this, because that was going to get some major traction on social media.
We're going to get a whole special episode.
Miller goes to go over to Duke and quickly assesses that the Skittermander has been intoxicated somehow, and determines he needs to go get. He'll actually just say, "I believe Dr. Parnell can fix you, Duke," and he goes back towards the main hangar bay area. Gordo watches this, feels a little nervous, and says, "I'm sorry, Amu," and starts to follow Miller Miller pauses for a moment, turns. Gordo becomes like this, shambling mound-sized thing of moss and vines and all this various organic detritus that is his living plant ooze body. And Gordo says, "I'm sorry. I have to kill you now." And Miller just nods and says, "I knew this was going to happen." And Gordo lunges forward, climbs into Miller's throat, his moss sliding down their throat, somehow not choking them to death. Miller staggers a few steps, then starts to grow grass and leaves out of their skin, and it pierces their plastoid armor, and it just their clothes and skin just kind of shed off until standing there is a relatively short, relatively thin, Vesk-sized topiary.
Dark Annihilation stuff.
Dude, you just rock me to sleep tonight. Good Lord.
And the moss crawls off of the topiary Miller and goes back to the med bay. So as you all come to, it appears that Squeebo was rescued by the gremlins, and all the rest of this crew is either deeply incapacitated or dead.
Oh. Good work, second string.
What's just happened?
I'm so proud of you all.
I think the JV team's really showing some promise.
It seems like Bud was killed by Bob's tool ramp sliding down, or Bob's tool chest sliding down a ramp onto him. Evidently, that thing weighs like 500 pounds. So
it's not like Bob cares.
Oh, this is what happens when you leave the gremlins home alone.
Is everyone gathered in this area?
Sure, why not? Black Hat will say, "What kind of crew is this?"
Oh,
the best kind.
Yeah, you're going to love it here.
Team Lizard Brain.
Vangie kind of like kicks Bud's corpse with her foot and is like, "Oh, that chainsaw looks fun."
Do we know them?
Hecubino picks up the skull and says, "I did not know him well."
Well, there is a ship docked nearby. It's called the Pequod Malibu. It seems to have had some run-ins with the law, but I think it's an officially registered bounty hunter ship. So I guess they were going to kidnap you.
Oh,
who would have a bounty on us?
Bounty on us?
I mean, it doesn't have. Bounty hunters don't necessarily just chase bounties. They could just be mercenaries who are paid by a single person to do this. For all we know, this is Talos again.
I guess. Although maybe we should.
We should get over to the other ship if it's still docked and try to see what information we can extract from that. But first, Amu, can you show Black Hat to his quarters?
And how are you feeling, Quentin?
Diced.
That's good. There's 3 or 4 higher settings, so dice isn't bad.
I'll go with Amu to make sure that
good call.
He's secured.
I believe I am up to a sojourn to the other ship.
Okay, everybody, grab your guns and gear. If I see the gremlins around, I'll be like, "Hey guys, you did great. Go back to your tubes, but you've really earned a renegotiation of time out of the tubes."
Yeah, we get to build things again.
Yeah.
Within reason.
Yeah, exactly.
What were their names?
Do we jinx it and how?
Do we jinx it? How? You did so good. Do you want to take any one of them over there, Captain? Captain?
Let's wait until we've figured out what's going on there before they get a little ambitious over there.
Yeah. See if there's anything there we want to keep.
Yeah, salvage first. Yeah. And also if they left any crew there. So
that's a good point.
All right, so you can secure Black Hat in a separate drive that you'll have to physically disconnect from Grace, which is fine. Grace, you guys have some extra computer parts around. And you want it to be sure it doesn't have infosphere access, and particularly, Bob, that because you were interacting with him, that he has the same ability you do to remote hack. So you need to kind of design this to shield against that.
Yeah, I'll put him in a Faraday cage. Nice.
That's great. And that between the two of you, you can you're pretty sure if it's possible the devil will get out. It does seem to have basically a magical ability to transport itself into and out of computers. Mm-hmm. So you're not sure you can stop it, but what you can do is limit it. Like if it were to transport itself out, A, you would know about it. B, it couldn't go anywhere. And so it might as well not. Right. Because like a empty room is actually less of a prison to it than... or more of a prison to it than a computer drive, because in a computer drive it could at least make itself live in its own weird artificial palatial manner or something like that.
Right. Well, maybe we'll load in some like forum posts.
Keep it busy.
Yeah.
Keep it like a daily curated feed.
Yep.
Give it a used copy of Windows 95.
They will say, I would like to negotiate our terms. I have information that you need, but I want something in return. But you clearly have a lot going on, so I can wait a little bit.
Oh, thanks. We'll take that into account. That's mighty nice of you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Consider your terms.
It says, not understanding the sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
You guys go to explore the Pequod Malibu?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. This ship it's seen better days. I mean, it's clearly got a competent mechanic, but their mechanic is a jerk. Like the weapons and engines are all in peak condition. Like tuned, optimized, probably they've spent 70% of their budget, if not more, on just those two things. But the living quarters are Spartan at best. And they don't have a mess hall. They seem to just only eat takeout, and they don't have a good trash compactor. So the place just smells. There's clear signs of vandalism from you're guessing the Skittermander based off of the color patterns. This ship is a portrait of individuals who do not work well as a group. That it seems to indicate there have been fights on this ship. There are constant squabbles over who's in charge. There are lab experiments that have gone wrong. You catch there's some video logs that you can see where you see that Parnell performed a self lobotomy. So that's weird, but he's convinced it made him smarter. And he wears that suit at all times to protect from the radiation, in quotes, which it wouldn't shock you if there was something radioactive here, though you don't detect it on your sensors. Yeah, there's definitely stuff you can loot from the place. Probably the best stuff that they have is their ship's weapons systems. You could also just sell this ship, and the amount you'd get for it, just all the insides of it would be ripped out and redone. But
which they might do anyway, even if it was in good shape.
Right. But the actual hull of the ship and the weapon systems they have alone, it's not as all around nice or well rounded a ship as the Squeaky Clean. That is to say, your ship is actually a higher tier than theirs. But you could certainly get some good money for this, and or not just money, but you could trade this into places, for instance, like the Android Abolitionist Front would certainly gobble this thing up for parts.
Yeah.
And you could presumably get ship upgrades out of it.
Yeah, taking this whole thing and letting the Android Abolitionist junk it was actually my first thought.
Oh, yeah. Well, cool.
We could probably do some upgrades if they'll, we're willing to put some of it into our ship.
Yeah. But let's see if we can get Bob to a console and see if he can pull up who hired these guys.
Beep boop 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 beep boop beep boop boop boop.
Okay, so now we get to the sad part. The sad part is that they were trying to kidnap you for ransom money because you're so famous.
How much did they want for us?
They wanted.
Are we talking like Lindsay Lohan money? Or
hold on, let me find out your wealth per level. Wealth by level.
Okay.
Starfinder has a whole credits thing.
No one will pay for us.
They wanted 50,000 credits.
Each?
For all of us?
For all of you.
Oi.
They didn't account for the menagerie, did they?
They
apparently not. It ate them.
Parnell's only cut was Squeebo. He seemed to be hired especially for this job.
He was very sus to begin with, because we know so little about Squeebo. So if he has extensive notes on what Squeebo is and why he's excited about it, I'd be curious about that.
I'll look and see if I can find any notes on that.
Okay.
What is the Squeebo?
But yeah, their plan was to basically kidnap and ransom you. You see a lot of half-baked plans here. It seems like these guys are also adventurers-ish that only want to go on get-rich-quick schemes, but they also have no problem hurting people, like anyone that gets in their way. The only reason they were taking you alive is because they assumed that Extreme Infosphere Productions would pay to have you released. And the only reason they were only asking 50,000 credits, you guys are worth significantly more, but they determined that was basically a nuisance fee where they would rather pay 50,000 credits and just get you than go send a kill team to address them.
To annihilate them.
Yep.
Can we fake our own kidnapping and see if we can get $50,000? We can Weekend at Bernie's this.
Let's not. That sounds complicated. Besides, we have a meeting that we need to get to here in a week or so, or in 2 weeks.
How long were we in my mind?
Wait, yeah, maybe we need to check the star dates or whatever.
Yeah, you've been out for 36 hours.
No wonder I'm so hungry. Well, let's give this thing a tow.
Yeah, let's go back in. We'll see if we can remote, and see if we can install something so we can control it remotely, undock it, and then just have it follow us.
Yeah, I mean, Bob can probably set something like that up.
Yeah.
This ship doesn't have a tractor beam, right?
No, you're gonna have to set something more manual up, or not manual, but like
physical,
tactile. Yeah.
Okay.
It has a drift drive, right?
It does.
I would say at least one of us is able to pilot outside of Bob.
Yeah, but if we don't need to, we might not need to sacrifice a whole member to moving this thing around.
The crew seems all permanently incapacitated for what's worth.
Okay.
So Bud is dead. Miller is dead. Parnell is dead. Otto is dead.
Starting to see a theme here.
Layla is permanently insane. And Duke is on a permanent Gordo trip. Duke is quite dangerous if not like
contained
put somewhere. Contained, yeah.
Gordoed.
Well, I mean, they're on an uncontrolled psychedelic experience.
Yeah, where they're making the walls actually melt.
But yeah, like they have the powers of a witch warper, so that's pretty bad.
All right.
They need to go live on some peaceful planet somewhere. If that's what or you could just kill them. I don't care.
Amu.
I mean,
Gordo did a good job of not killing.
You do see the topiary of Vesk.
It's good that Gordo had time to make this thing.
Of only killing.
That is both very cool and very unsettling.
Wait, you're saying this was a guy? This topiary thing was someone?
I think I'd like to keep it in my room and just take care of it and prune it.
Sure. I mean, we've just been in your brain. It can't mess you up more than what we already did.
Legit.
That's true, true.
I don't know, good sanitarium we can deposit these two at?
That's a good question.
Like, can we have
I think the Church of Shellen actually does maintain those sort of things in this world, for what it's worth.
Okay. Are they, like, legit, or are they, like...
No, well, I mean, they do want you to worship Shellen. Like, there's a low-key... Yeah, it'd be nice if you worshipped the goddess of beauty.
Right.
But, you know, I'm coming at this from the perspective, assuming you're relatively cynical and not religious, the Shellen organization seem pretty all right. They seem pretty legit.
Okay. Amo, can you give us a preliminary thing and see if, like, they're gonna make it there? And I guess we can. I don't know. Like, how bad is it gonna get for this guy if he keeps tripping? Like, is he gonna just turn our hull into butterflies or something like that?
We can sedate him.
So
that's certainly within your capabilities.
Okay, so we'll stick these guys, I guess, in the brig. We did just get that brig.
Useful.
Yeah. Let's keep them somewhat sedated so that they don't hurt themselves in there. And we'll go meet the android abolitionist, see if they have use for that ship, and if they are willing to trade something. Then we get those guys home, or to a home. And then we go to our meeting. Is there anything else that we need to do that I'm forgetting?
Talk to Black Hat.
Talk to Black Hat, yeah. We can do that on the way to any of these, but yeah. Although you're right, that might introduce additional places to go, so maybe we should talk to him now.
Yeah. See what his terms are.
Let's go.
All right. And with that, Team Lizard Brain sets off on a new adventure.
Yay. Thank you, everybody, for downloading and checking us out this week. Hope you've enjoyed that. That was pretty fun to see what the menagerie was up to this week. I enjoyed that.
Including the lower decks.
If you have any questions, send us an email, podcast@majorspoilers.com. And until next time, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2022 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.